Hey everyone, and welcome to Look Behind You, the podcast where we talk about the paranormal, the supernatural, and everything else in between.
Hi.
What?
Hello.
Terry just gave me a weird signal.
He was touching the stick. And if it's anything...
The mic stand.
The mic stand. And if it's anything like it when we're doing intros, usually disaster happens, so...
Yes, which it did.
I was just motioning do not touch. No, it's fine.
I was trying to get the mic back into position.
I see.
Everything is fine. Keep going.
Anyways, I'm joined by my hosts, hosts, plural. That's
Host?
one way to say host.
Co-host?
Multiple entities upon the table that speak into the microphone.
Co-parasites?
Sure, let's go with that. The one that is currently, the one that was just speaking is Jordan.
Hi.
And the other one that was laughing like a hyena is Terry.
Hello.
What was that? That wasn't a hyena.
That was Jason coming to kill you.
I don't know. It's been a long week.
Yes, it has. So I found this sparkling water actually. And guess what it's flavored as?
Water.
Red, white, and blue popsicles.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Does it taste like red, white, and
It
blue?
does.
Oh my gosh.
Not to be off topic with that, but I'm just kind of curious because I've heard this. Does anyone else out there in the world like call it pop, or is that just a Michigan thing?
It's a
Started in Michigan.
It's a Midwestern/northern states saying. Down south, they'll call it soda.
Soda.
Then there's also certain states that just say Coke.
Then there's soda pop.
There's soda pop.
I always have to say soda.
Pretty sure.
And I feel weird because when I say pop, people always think I say pot.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Canada calls it pop. But I mean, you always get those weird people that are just, it has to be one or the other.
Well,
so.
we do have Faygo, and Faygo makes red pop.
Yeah.
So that's probably where it came from.
Yeah. Also, I mean, most companies do call it soda. There's nothing that's just called
Because
pop.
that's actually what it is. It's soda.
So
it's a fountain drink.
This episode's actually going to be about pop.
Oh, a lot of people contribute the phrasing pop is when you open up a soda or pop bottle
It pops.
or a can, it goes pop.
Yeah, I know. I didn't even get to tell you guys the best part about this drink.
That it tastes like red, white, and blue popsicles.
Guess how much it was?
5 cents.
No. 69 cents.
Oh my gosh.
Boo.
Oof. Wow, you guys are no fun. You guys are no fun whatsoever.
I've heard that joke so much that it's not funny no more.
Yeah, but you know what?
No,
It's part of the internet, and I like it.
Boo. It's just adequately placed there for comedic effect. Laugh audience.
I'll put a laugh track right here. You sounded like a seal. Gee.
I hope that doesn't get
That's a good title for this episode. Seals and Pop.
Seals and pop.
Does that mean I'm going to have to read this whole government document as a seal?
Can you speak seal?
His former name was Wolf. We now call him Jordan, but his name really is Agent Seal.
I would play the Phineas and Ferb thing, but I feel like I would...
Copyright
There you
strike.
go. Perry. All right. Well, anyways, welcome to the show, everybody. For our 3 minutes of rambling, I swear we are actually a paranormal podcast a little bit. So we're gonna jump right into our paranormal part of the show.
Are we jumping, or with the topic, are we more crashing it like a fireball into the Sierra Nevada mountains?
Boom.
Yes.
Because I'm all for that.
What?
I was boom like the mountains explode when the fireball hits them.
I mean, you guys do whatever you want, but I'm going to just segue us over to this topic. But you ruined my segue.
No, I crashed the segue.
Right over a cliff.
Once more into the wall.
Anyways, we're talking about what's this place? The Office of Directory of National Intelligence's report on Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon.
And for anyone that wondered why Jake said, or asked what is this place? We're in the office. Right now, reading the article.
Somehow we found the Pentagon and we got access to it.
What do you mean somehow we found the Pentagon? We looked it up on Google Maps.
Just walked right in.
That's what you did on your phone.
What are you thinking I was
What do
doing?
you
Hacking
think?
it?
Finding the next song to listen to.
What did you think the 24-hour road trip was about?
Oh, I knew we were trying to find the Pentagon, but I thought we just ran out of music.
Where do you think the Pentagon was? In another dimension?
I don't
Where do you
know.
think all those guys in this black suits were?
That's why they're following us.
Yeah, like that guy over there.
Oh, hi, Bill.
Anyways, this report was released on the 25th of June in 2021. It is a preliminary report assessment on unidentified aerial phenomenon, which is the new term for unidentified flying object, or UFO.
Kind of, yes.
Probably from when the space squids infest our planet.
Or the spaghetti monsters in the sky.
Yeah, that too. Spaghetti space squids.
Heck yeah.
Sweet. I'd be cool with that.
Anyways, it goes over their assessments of it. They go over certain policies that they are creating / have already been using. They go over data collecting, as well as they go over basically a sales pitch to get more money.
Yeah, we're gonna skip over the sales pitch. Well, no,
Awesome.
Yeah, we're gonna
read the sales pitch.
Are we?
There's parts of it that we're probably gonna just, if you want to read it for yourself, you can. It's a lot of boring government jargon.
I will leave a link to it in the description, but it is very easy to find.
You literally just look up UFO document released in 2020.
Really? Because I just got
21.
a lot of opinionated blogs.
You just look up UAP,
Oh yeah, or just UAP.
and that's what you get.
It's the first thing that pops up. Is the
As well
PDF.
as there's a lot of technical jargon in here, which we will try to explain when we come across any of it.
Yep. And then there's just a lot of unnecessary, repetitive, like division. Well, not unnecessary, but division initials that we'll probably just skip
Also,
over.
a lot of this is double typed, double spaced, I should say.
Yeah.
This looks like a third grader's.
No, that's what happens when you do center alignment format for paragraphs. I hate it so much.
Oh yeah, because they had to. Oh yeah.
I hate it.
I mean, the way it's worded, it still kind of looks like a fifth grader's essay report.
Yeah, it's
When
not what I expected it to look like.
When we were reading it before the show,
I also found typos in there too.
I've only found really one typo in it.
The one where it should have been plural instead of singular. But we're not here to nitpick government secretary write-ups.
What? We're not.
That could be its own episode.
We can do that next week.
We could.
Just get out our little red pens and just write all the mistakes on the paper.
I'll make sure to put the whole filing cabinet in the car when we leave.
We're just gonna mail all their documents back to them. Like, so these are your grammatical errors.
I give you a B-.
Just walk up to the secretary at the front desk, just whole filing cabinet. I corrected your mistakes.
I didn't read them. I corrected them. Anyways,
For some reason, there was so many 3-letter words, and I didn't know what any of them meant, so I just removed them.
don't worry. I used whiteout. It's
This
fine.
is official declaration to the blank.
The blank of the
We
blank,
need
blank,
emergency supplies to the blank.
blank. What?
So yeah, we're gonna probably hop around a bit. Not hop around, but there'll be certain sections that we probably won't read just for the fact of they are just boring jargon that
Yes.
really kind of just repeats itself.
Yep.
Kind of like I do most of the time. And no one wants to hear that.
What do you mean? There's people listening right now.
Oh.
I would say, though, for the people that might be interested in this, definitely go read it yourself. It's not that long.
Yes, because this
It is very boring, though.
When I read it first, I didn't find it boring.
No, and as I was reading through it before we recorded, because I totally did like a month's worth of research,
What are you talking about? This is all I did. Was it just downloaded the PDF
there are
and printed it out?
interesting sections. To me, it's just the most interesting thing about the whole thing is that they're acknowledging whether it be a plastic bag in the sky, to a bird, to an intergalactic entity, there are unidentified flying thing, whatchamacallit.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
It is very
I also
cool.
remember when they talked about releasing this, the whole world lost its mind.
Yeah, and then immediately just forgot about it
yeah.
a day
Yeah.
after.
Yeah. That was pretty
I didn't actually even
amazing.
know that this got released until like we did the episode on Foo Fighters.
Yeah. Yep.
I thought we were still waiting for the release of it.
It was, before I get into it, it was kind of amazing to me how it was just swept under the not even swept under the rug, it was just blatantly ignored.
It was just
Well,
forgotten.
A lot happened around the time.
There was
Yeah.
also like the killer hornets, the bees.
Yeah, whatever happened to that?
Oh, we basically destroyed them.
Oh,
We nuked them.
I was looking forward to just taking a tennis racket and swatting a bee as big as my hand.
These things would actually eat through the tennis racket.
Yeah, probably. I'd need a shotgun.
If
They'd
I'm
eat the
remembering,
bullet.
if I'm remembering right, they got neutralized.
Although it was pretty cool to find out that those bees, arch enemy, and usually what kills them is the adorable honeybee.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of funny.
Their honeybees are like, we are so fluffy, we will incinerate you from the inside.
Yep, it's just dogpile and vibrate.
I still find it funny that honeybees are like the real world equivalent of the Flash.
Yes,
They just
are.
vibrate.
Honeybees are great.
They are great.
I'm still terrified of them.
I stopped being terrified of them as soon as I realized that like they wouldn't even hurt me.
Just only by accident.
It's just knowing that they could.
yeah,
But they don't hurt. Like a honeybee sting,
Oh,
unless you're allergic to
a
them.
honeybee sting hurts. Trust me, I used to
Any
do bees.
sting from
Not as-
any type of bee or wasp.
Not as bad as a
hurts.
hornet, because a hornet is like a backstreet mugger who stabs you 72 times.
Well, I was just gonna say, like compared
Because they
to
do.
most of the things I get stung by, which are wasps, a honeybee is like nothing.
Yeah, I usually feel bad for the honeybee.
Yeah.
Thing.
I just run from them so I don't get stung too much.
I have watched you several times run across the yard.
Multiple times.
Ground bees, for those that know what those are, ground bees can die.
They can
Yeah.
die in hell.
Yes,
Yes.
they can.
Anyways, who would like to start with the report? Because we are already 12 minutes.
I think the man with the crazy hair should do it. Because he's always our article reader, dude.
I will try to read through a lot of this.
I will back you up, buddy, on anything you get hung up on.
Don't
okay.
ask
Or
me.
I get hung up on.
There's too many abbreviated words.
Jake's just going to sleep over there.
I'm gonna sleep over.
You might
Have fun
actually
with
have a
this.
stroke trying to read this out
I
loud.
did have a stroke.
Because I am. I'm going to start on page 2, which is technically the first page.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
That's
I'm
the
on
page
the
I spilled
page two.
Capri Sun all over. Don't judge me.
This section is
12-year-old.
listed as scope and assessments.
Assumptions.
So, yes, what he said.
Also a blue letter just under it. Scope?
Yep, this is the scope part.
Is that a hyperlink?
No,
No. It's just a blue text.
it's just their highlight.
I
And
didn't know the government used
The
color lettering.
rest of the world acknowledges blue text and document is usually a hyperlink for reference, but the government is just blue text.
they also do this. Yellow box.
I saw the yellow box.
That threw me for a loop. When I saw it, I'm like,
Clear-
what the heck?
It's clear and evident to me they use Microsoft Word.
Yep.
Okay, so the scope part. This preliminary report is provided by the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, or ODNI. For the first bit, I'm going to say out their initials. In response to the provision in Senate Report 116-233, accompanying the Intelligence Authorization Act, or IAA, for fiscal year 2021.
So just execute Order 66.
Yeah, this is just basically saying this report is because people asked for it.
Yeah.
That the DNI, in consultation with the Secretary of Defense, is to submit an intelligence assessment of the threat posed by Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon, or UAP, and the progress of the Department of Defense Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon Task Force, or UAPTF, has made... What?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. Has made an understanding this threat.
So, was this report released because of a Freedom of Information Act?
I believe so, and also the Senate just requested for a report.
Okay.
Yes, because I believe up until this point, because of the increasing amount of reports of UAPs now, or what we know as UFOs, kind of bugs me that they changed the name of it, but whatever.
Well, they changed the name of it to be a little bit
Anomalous.
more direct.
Yeah.
It's actually not to be more direct, it's to
Broaden the
encompass
category.
more things.
I
Things
guess
that
so.
aren't just objects.
Yeah.
But I think there was already previously a lot of requesting from Senate because, I mean, as we've seen with previous episodes, the government has always been really interested in it.
Yep.
And it's just now it's a little easier, I think, to put it out because it's decades old stuff, not centuries, but it's old information basically.
Yep.
And also too, I think just also in that fact is the mentality has shifted from aliens, it's the end of the world to cool aliens.
Right.
People are happy for it now.
Yeah.
All right, continue with your stuff.
This report provides an overview for policymakers of the challenges associated with characterizing the potential threat posed by UAP, while also providing a means to develop relevant processes, policies, technologies, and training for the U.S. military and other U.S. government personnel if and when they encounter UAP, so as to enhance the intelligence committee's ability to understand the threat. Director, UAPTF is the accountable office for ensuring the timely collection and consolidation of data on UAP. The data set described in this report is currently limited primarily to U.S. government reporting of incidents occurring from November 2004 to March 2021. Data continues to be collected and analyzed.
So basically what they're saying is they're making this report to show what might be a threat, what type of things they're trying to develop to research and also defend against this stuff, as well as they're trying to explain that they basically know nothing.
Yeah, and that they need better gear and equipment.
And
right.
Also another thing to know about this is most of their data is recovered from 2004 to present.
Yes.
Yeah, they're not.
Which makes sense because 2004 was really when the technology boom went into full swing.
Right, and for the fact of these things are still around even afterwards, and that they have evidence of stuff like this kind of makes it a little bit more jarring, really.
Yep. All right.
Office of the Director of National Intelligence prepared this report for the Congressional Intelligence and Armed Services Committees, UAPTF, and the Odin National Intelligence Manager for Aviation drafted this report with input from a lot of other branches.
You said Odin? You mean ODNI?
I did not say ODNI. I said Office of the Director of National Intelligence. I specifically said that so if anyone didn't know exactly what it was.
Oh, I heard you said Odin.
Oh, I said Odin later on in it.
Odni.
Odni. I'm sorry, I just see O-D-N-I and I just think Odin.
Ah.
And I don't think anybody wants me just to read off 3-letter names.
Yeah, pretty much every department of the government is in there, from FBI to
There's DARPA,
NSA, Air Force, DARPA,
ONI,
FAA.
NOAA. NOAA's in here. That's funny.
Army, Air Force, everything pretty much.
Yep.
Because all of these departments
Any
work
military or
jointly.
defense branch is basically in this. Now moving on to this assumptions part. Various forms of sensors that registered UAP generally operate correctly and capture enough real data to allow initial assessments, but some UAP may be attributed to sensors anomalies.
In other words, when your Windows crashes.
And that's the assessment part.
Yeah, very little paragraph. Very, very tiny.
Basically, they're just saying is most of the time, the sensors aren't malfunctioning, but a couple of the times it's malfunctioning.
Right.
Want me to read page 3?
If you want, go ahead.
Sure. We'll just trade off pages. I don't remember which articles so we picked for everything.
Do you want my paper?
Nah, I'll just do this.
It's the entire page 3.
Well, this is a thing we figure out on the go.
Yeah. Just read entire page 3.
All right, so page 3 is the executive summary. I'll try to consolidate this. Again, if you want to read the entirety, just check out the document yourself. All right, so the limited amount of high-quality reporting on unidentified aerial phenomena hampers our ability to draw firm conclusions about the nature or intent of UAP. As a result, the UAPTF concentrated its review on reports that occurred between 2004 and 2001, as cited in the previous page, and the majority of which are a result of this new tailored process to better capture UAP events through formalized reporting. So, repetition, patterns, things like that.
Yep.
Most of the UAP reported probably do represent physical objects, given that a majority of UAP were registered across multiple sensors. So your incidents where there's 12 witnesses or it's picked up on
a whole platoon of soldiers.
Yeah, whole platoon of soldiers, multiple radar systems pick up something. Pretty much undeniable that there is something there.
Yep.
To multiple sensors to include radar, infrared, electrical, optical, weapon seekers, and visual observation. In a limited number of incidents, UAP reportedly appeared to exhibit unusual flight characteristics. So this is where it gets more into an actual UFO. These observations could be the result of sensor errors, spoofing, or observer misperception and require additional rigorous analysis. There are probably multiple types of UAP requiring different explanations based on the range of appearances and behaviors described in the available reporting. UAP clearly pose a safety of flight issue and may pose a challenge to the U.S. national security.
Why don't you read the next part of that?
Safety concerns primarily center on aviators contending with an increasingly cluttered air domain. UAP also represent a national security challenge if they are foreign adversary collection platforms or provide evidence a potential adversary has developed either a breakthrough or disruptive technology.
And that's about it for page 3 because the last part is just not that useful.
Kind of going over itself again.
It's just saying we consolidate a lot of papers from a lot of people and we do research on it.
Yep. All right, hand it back to Jordan.
Anything that you guys want to add from any of that? Anything to point out?
A lot of their process right there just seems to be, well, we're going to take more consideration into the fact of multiple accounts can no longer be dismissed.
Yep.
Like so many UFO incidents where it will be people from across multiple towns will give their testimonies or reports or whatever, and it just gets pea-puttied.
Yeah, basically when I read that, I got out of most of that page is that them just double downing that it's real stuff.
Yeah, have multiple instances to confirm if it's real or not.
I do find it interesting that they are now more concerned with UAPs. It looks like because a big reason is they're having problems with aerial flights and maneuvers and also probably data collection, considering that they are scared that UAPs are possibly foreign data collecting drones and stuff.
Can't remember if we wrote down the parts where they kind of elaborate on that part to read, but I'll just speak about it now, and if we get to it, I'll skip over that.
I think that's under the categories, because that's another thing is they have now made a category system to UAPs as well.
Yes, but before the categories, they have a section about their collection challenges.
Yep.
What's challenging them and collecting the stuff.
Which is actually kind of funny because coming into this is a lot of age-old issues for collecting information on this stuff.
I'll start reading now. UAP Collection Challenges. Social cultural stigmas and sensor limitations, remain obstacles to collecting data on UAP. Although some technology challenges, such as how to appropriately filter out radar clutter to ensure safety of flight for military and civilian aircraft, are long-standing in the aviation community, while others are unique to the UAP problem set. Narratives from aviators in the operational community and analysts for the military and IC describe disagreement associated with observing UAP. Does anyone know what that IC there stands for?
Intelligence Center.
Okay.
It was up on the report higher.
Was it?
Intelligence community.
Okay, I missed that part.
That's what IC means.
Okay. With observing UAP, reporting it or attempting to discuss it with colleagues. Although the effects of these stigmas have lessened as senior members of scientific, police, military, and intelligence committees engage on the topic seriously in public. Reputation risk may keep many observers silent, complicating scientific pursuits of the topic.
So basically just being called a
lunatic
or crackpot or whatever.
You messed up on a word.
Yeah,
you said, although the effects of these stigmas have lessened as senior members of the scientific, policy, military, and intelligence communities engage on the topics, not police.
That is policy. Huh.
Yes.
Although I did see not too long ago where they encouraged law enforcement to report stuff too.
Yeah, but it's
I just kind of assume police, military, and intelligence community.
Yeah, this is policy, not police.
Another challenge they have is the sensors mounted on U.S. military platforms are typically designed to fulfill specific missions. As a result, those sensors are not generally suited for identifying UAP.
Right, they are designed, like, especially certain sensors for picking up aircraft, they're designed to pick up certain airwaves and certain signals, sometimes even certain noise frequencies.
Yeah. For like radar on a battleship.
Yes. Yeah. So if a UAP has something that is not of the norm, it might have a hard time picking it up.
Yep.
Right, and if it does, the information is not probably always the most reliable.
Yeah, it could identify it as something that is something completely different than what it might actually be, or it could be so jumbled up that the data is just hard to read as it is.
Yeah.
Yep. And then their final challenge that they have written down. Sensor vantage points and the number of sensors currently observing an object play substantially roles in distinguishing UAP from known objects and determining whether a UAP demonstrates breakthrough aerospace capabilities. Optical sensors have the benefit of providing some insight into relative size, shape, and structure. Radio frequency sensors provide more accurate velocity and range information.
So basically, that last one is it a spaceship?
Yep.
Basically, this whole column here says that their sensors are crap.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they need to upgrade
their sensors aren't meant for observing UAPs or other phenomenons in the air. They're meant to hunt down not spaceships, but like enemy aircraft, submarines, and stuff like that.
Standardized equipment, basically.
That makes sense.
And yeah, that would be I imagine a pretty common thing, because this is pretty new to the scene as far as being taken seriously now. All right, we're going on to hopping over to page 5, right?
Yes.
Because, yeah, page 5. That's next in order. I was thinking there was a page between there.
About 2 bits on page 5.
Yep.
Staying in the same category of the last one with like the different challenges and stuff and how a lot of their data sets are inconclusive. They have a section called, and a handful of UAP appeared to demonstrate advanced technology.
Oh, yeah.
That part, which is kind of one of the more interesting parts of it. So, in 18 incidents described in 21 reports, observers reported unusual UAP movement patterns or flight characteristics. Basically saying that can't be a weather balloon because it's moving too fast and too erratic.
Right.
Well, like the story of our previous episode.
Yes. Some UAP appear to remain stationary in winds aloft, move against the wind, maneuver abruptly, or move at considerable speeds without discernible means of propulsion. In a small number of cases, military aircraft systems proceed radio frequency.
Processed radio frequency, RF energy associated with UAP sightings.
Okay.
I was just helping you out because I know the frequencies and stuff are going to mess you up.
I got past that part, but okay. Thank you.
Oh, you did?
The UAPTF holds a small amount of data that appear to show UAP demonstrating acceleration of a degree of signature management. I don't know why I'm stumbling over my words so much. Additional rigorous analysis, dang, are necessary by multiple terms or groups, teams or groups. Can someone take over that part?
Of technological experts to determine the nature and validity. That's hard for me. Of these data. We are conducting further analysis to determine if breakthrough technologies were demonstrated. Basically, they are taking tests and they are also blown away at some other things that these UAPs are able to do.
Well, like for example,
and they're trying to determine if the data is actually correct or is just a fluke.
For example, tech breakthrough was last month, the fact that it was found out that I think China had hypersonic aircraft.
Yeah, that was way before last month.
Or whenever it was.
That's when I heard about
Time is an anomaly, but, that's a breakthrough piece of technology. Yeah. You guys want me to cover the categories of UAPs?
That would be appreciated because apparently I can't read political words today.
Nobody can read political words, which is why they use political words.
All right, so I'm going to jump ahead a little bit on this. So the UAP...
Before you do, very quick, I wanted to point out something because they said in 18 incidents, there have been 144 reported incidents, I believe.
And out of those 18 were...
Out of those 144, there were 18 incidents that were really weird.
Okay.
That seemed like they were advanced aerospace technology.
Well, I know...
I can say aerospace technology right now.
Good for
I
you.
know back in 2020, NASA had a run-in with just like... It looked like a flying Dorito, basically. And when they approached it with... I don't remember what it was, probe or something, it took off on them. Like it just slingshotted itself in orbit. It was like, nope.
Right.
We're out of
So
here.
there's things like that, and that's probably among one. I mean, there's a lot. There's been several reports of stuff like that where they go to investigate it, and it's just like gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they've been collecting this data since 2004.
Okay, so under the article section of UAP probably lack a single explanation. It will cover the categories, and there are 5 categories.
They have 5 categories that they kind of put each case in.
Yeah. So we have airborne clutter. These objects include birds, balloons, recreational unnamed aerial vehicles or UAVs, or as we all know, drones.
Bum, bum,
Yes.
bum.
or airborne debris like plastic bags that muddle a scene and affect an operator's ability to identify true targets, such as an enemy aircraft.
I love how they include birds.
Yeah. Well, birds really mess up radar and stuff.
Yep.
Then the next category is natural atmospheric phenomenon. A little disappointed like how underwhelming it is. Natural atmospheric phenomenon includes ice crystals, moisture, thermal fluctuations that may register on some infrared radar systems.
Swamp gas.
Yeah,
Swamp gas.
It's also kind of like St. Elmo's fire
Yeah, or it's like a weird electrical effect.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it just kind of disappoints me that they don't include, like, yeah, there's also weird atmospheric anomalies like electricity and stuff.
That's why they kind of added changed it from
Thermal
UFO
fluctuations.
That's kind of why they changed it from UFO to UAP.
Yeah.
Because it also includes phenomenons like the ice crystals messing with radars.
Well, it is. That's actually kind of a good thing, I guess, to put in there too, because that can also explain some, if they can study it, some freakish weather and anomalies and storms, things like that. Next category is USG or Industry Development Programs.
This one's a little lame.
Some UAP observations could be attributable to developments in classified programs by U.S. entities. We were unable to confirm, however, that these systems account for any UAP reports. Could be us, but we're not telling.
It could be our classified spaceship technology, but we're not allowed to tell you.
Well, not only are they allowed to tell you, but more likely the people creating the report aren't even allowed to know.
Yeah, they're just like, it could be our stuff. Who knows?
It could be Tim over in Area 51, but we're not allowed to know.
We're not sure.
Right.
We're not even supposed to know Tim exists.
Oops.
Next one is foreign adversaries. Some UAP may be technologies deployed by China, Russia, another nation, or non-governmental entity.
It's China.
The last category is other.
I think that's basically all that we'd have to say about that.
I'll read through it real quick. Although mostly UAP described in our database probably remain unidentified due to limited data or challenges to collection, processing, or analysis, we may require additional scientific knowledge to successfully collect on, analyze, characterize some of them. We would group up such objects in this category pending scientific advances that allowed us to better understand them. And there's that sales pitch again. Yeah. The UAPTF intends to focus additional analysis on the small number of cases where a UAP appeared to display unusual characteristics or signature management. So UFOs are the other category, technically.
And that brings us to the end of what we're going to read off of the report.
Yeah, because I kind of feel like a lawyer right now reading through this.
Yeah.
So this is where I interject and I say break time.
Yep.
All right, so we will take a break and then we'll be back with our own thoughts and then possibly some pop culture talk.
CIA man, get me coffee.
Yeah, we'll see you all later.
See you in a minute.
And we're back. Welcome back, everybody. We just got done talking about the UAP report, and now we're going to discuss
everything.
Sure.
What, you were sounding too serious there for a second.
We're going to unfold the mysteries of the universe before your very eyes that don't exist, because this is an audio format.
Insert tearing sound of the fabric of reality.
Just for the record, folks, it's really super late. We're all really tired. It's gonna be weird.
The break for you guys was probably about 3 minutes. For us, it's been about 2 hours.
What?
Yeah.
No, what?
Yeah.
We took 2 hours?
Yeah.
Did I fall asleep?
Yeah.
Probably.
I mean, you just did come off a 9-hour shift.
9.5. Thank you.
9.5 hours.
It's only my 6th day of working. It's fine.
But yeah, we just got done going over our bullet points and things we wanted to read off of the UAP task force report.
Yes.
Right.
So
now entertain the people with your thoughts on UFOs.
UFOs could be aliens, could be angry geese. Who knows?
Angry geese.
According to the government, it could be birds.
That sounds like one of those 50s news article lines.
UFO turns out to be giant, fat, angry geese.
That would be scary.
It would.
I'd be more terrified of that than a UFO.
Would you rather fight a giant-sized duck or a giant-sized fat geese?
Duck. Because I can just hug the duck and the duck will just go wham.
Ducks are vicious creatures.
I have owned many a duck, and they have been kind and gentle, except for a really grotesque duck called a Muscovy duck.
Ooh, Muscovy's.
Those things pack knives in their pockets.
Huh. Anyways, Jordan, what do you think of UFOs?
I think they could exist.
Cool. What do you think of the government's thoughts of UFOs?
They could exist. Is what the government thinks.
Terry, what do you think of the government's thoughts on UFOs?
I think, honestly, that whole article really displayed a total lack of knowledge, in all honesty.
I was just going to say, the article actually does not tell us anything at all.
Basically, in short, I think this is what it is. Holy crap, these things are real. We need equipment. Please
they don't even
send
say
help.
it's real. They just say it might be real.
Yeah.
They say we're not sure.
Well,
that's all they say.
It shows a lot of uncertainty and a lot of unprepared for a thing that is supposedly we're prepared for anything.
they do say it's real, but they don't say it's UFOs.
Yeah,
or aliens.
They don't tie it to aliens.
They say the phenomenons or encounters are real, besides from maybe some of the I got kidnapped from aliens and butt probe stories. Because
Yeah, true.
those are hundreds of those.
I don't think there's hundreds.
There's hundreds.
There might be hundreds of those. Well, I mean, depends what
There might
website you're looking them up
There
on.
might even be thousands.
I don't know. I kind of wish they went into a little bit more detail because there are several accounts of like the things of people having. This kind of goes a little bit off trail with it, but at the same time, it was a thing that wasn't acknowledged with it. Was there has been records of farmers that have lost livestock in really weird ways,
Right.
And then just to basically encounter weird vehicles or kick up weird vehicles that take off.
Right.
I was a little disappointed that wasn't acknowledged because that is actually incidents like that put real fear into people about UFOs.
I believe
Because they showed, I guess, a form of malice.
Yeah, I mean, I've never known anybody, like, of course, people are kind of scared of aliens and the whole probing thing, but I've never known aliens to be put in a evil sense,
No.
unless you're talking about, like, a sci-fi movie.
No, this was in a sense, these accounts, and maybe we can do stories on some of them, are things like livestock would turn up dead with like precision cut chunks removed out of them or like certain organs removed type thing.
Oh, yeah.
By like the droves.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
And I mean, yeah.
I forget about those types of reports and stuff.
That, I mean, could be as far as extraterrestrial right down to, I guess, another country just checking out resources.
Yeah, that's true.
Because people do look at, how do they grow their livestock? We need to know this so we can steal it.
Well, one of the concerns a lot of people have, like especially like in the scientific community that I've heard voiced, is they kind of will picture aliens like humans to animals. Mm-hmm. Like we see animals on our own planet as lesser than.
Yeah.
And what's stopping a alien race that has mastered space flight and technology like that just to see, oh, look at those animals on that planet. They haven't even figured out how to really fly in space yet.
It is kind of funny.
And treat us like
it's
ants.
kind
almost.
of funny to me that like humans are so prone to immediately jump the gun to that rather than, well, maybe you might end up with a helpful
Yeah.
presence. They'd be like, hey, come on, join us. Let's go.
It's a concern that some people have that might be how the aliens would look on us.
See, here's the thing, though. So many people jump to that conclusion, but they leave out the part how we differentiate animals between animals and us is self-awareness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, we've recently discovered things such as, like, jellyfish are more self-aware than what we even thought. So we've started doing things to protect them.
Yeah.
Same thing with creatures like monkeys and dolphins and
Octopus.
whales and stuff like that.
The argument that they also not push for, but state could also go into the reason why we actually haven't like encountered them, because they're just like, oh, there's the people on that planet. We don't need to interfere with what they're doing.
Yeah, I think that would be more of a
Reaction.
for a species, an alien species, is there's no reason to interact with them. Like, obviously they'd be wiser than us, right? I'd hope they'd be wiser if they're traveling in space.
I don't know if they'd be wiser, but they'd definitely be more intelligent.
Yeah. So one would hope that they would maybe realize that we'd probably end up shooting them if they came to our planet.
Yeah, so why essentially create a unnecessary war when you could just not interact?
Yep. And that's even like if aliens are in any kind of form that could even communicate with us.
Right. I mean, there's always the communication barrier. Everybody thinks that aliens are going to be able to just learn, well, apparently English in every single movie. Apparently they can just learn English by watching TV for 2 seconds.
I mean, there's also just this simple thing. I'm pretty sure it's universal of dumb luck of someone out there just got it right to be able to build a ship that travels. Doesn't mean they're exactly equipped to explore.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or just basically like we do. Interesting thing. Launch probes.
Well, not only that, but like you look at our exploration, like into space. If we met an alien
We don't know how to communicate.
the moon, do we have any equipment that we know of that would set us up for that?
No, it'd just be
Besides for maybe the guy's iPhone if he has it with him.
yeah, it basically just be, hey, look, unknown entity. Cool. Now we gotta figure out how to do this.
Or like if we're in the ocean, do we have equipment that's designed to do communication for others? Like usually when we do exploration, we bring equipment, we bring gear that's specifically designed just for what we need there, survival and bringing back samples.
Right. So
We don't go down there thinking we don't go down to the ocean thinking we're gonna meet like the Atlanteans. We don't go up to space thinking we're gonna meet aliens. I mean, it's probably always a hope, but you never know.
right. And I mean, if there were aliens, that's the thing that always gets me is everyone is always, oh, they're so hyper advanced. Like, well, what if it's just a current scientific breakthrough on their part too?
Right. Like, what was our first plane? 2 guys like running on like up a hill or down a hill until it took off.
Yeah. So why couldn't it be the same for extraterrestrial? We
Right.
always put ourselves so far low on everything.
Right.
It's weird because humans are like, we're so superior, yet we're not so superior, and it's just always kind of an annoying thing. The way it is.
Also, kind of look at it this way: we were in space long before we were really prepared to be in space.
Yeah. Yep.
Like technically, right now we're not super prepared to be in space.
Yeah, we're just now making breakthroughs into.
And we've already been up there on the moon a long time ago.
Yeah.
Do you guys know how much computer data it took to bring us to space?
A ton.
No. 64 kilobytes.
Yeah, but in retrospect, back then that was a lot.
Also, a lot
64 kilobytes back then was about a desk size computer.
Yeah.
Like,
Now
And
it's
now-
packed into your phone.
now my phone has a SD card on it that has 135 gigabytes.
You also gotta
Yeah.
think about a lot of their back then. A lot of their like data and stuff was more or less on notes.
No, I know that.
Yeah, it's just it's
It was a
it's
lot,
funny
but,
to
like,
think it's like now we
They got there with 64
the
kilobytes.
computer that controlled everything for the mission, 64 kilobytes.
and now it's like massive amounts. Of
Now you
data.
can't even get Windows 10 to run on your computer unless you at least have like 50 gigabytes on your hard drive.
Yeah, and that's probably just scratching the surface of all the mathematics
Right.
and stuff.
So, it's insane, like how simple of stuff we had to bring us to the moon.
Another thing too is this: we look at, because we have to do this, we look at things of going into space, our elements, our resources. We have to compromise with stuff like that. There's nothing to say that a entity on another world could not just be fortunate enough to be mining a resource that just holds up to heat and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah,
And there's
that's
just like,
true.
we build airplane that goes into space.
Yeah,
equivalent.
Easily.
You know, there's so much stuff out there it's undiscovered, and just the rules are totally different.
Well, our biggest problem is bringing resources with us.
Right.
Because we have very good heat deflection, and we have very good like atmospheric control.
It's just taking food and water.
It's taking
and
the
stuff.
mainly air,
Yeah.
because we can pack a lot of food in a small space.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can grow food now too.
We can make water.
And another big problem is almost half of the weight of the rocket has to be fuel.
Yeah.
Just to get out of the Earth's atmosphere, out of the gravitational immediate pull.
Right. So I don't know. It's cool to think of things like that, but yeah. So going back to the report, I guess the overall sum it up is they didn't really say anything.
I think they were rushed, honestly, with the report.
I don't know what their time period for the report was, but it just seems like they basically re-said everything that everybody that's into UFOs has been saying for a long time, but they just put their political
jargon
on it.
There was one part in the report where they actually go about kind of more of the history of the UAP task force, where it was actually part of the Navy, a very small part of the Navy, and then it broke off, I think, like in between 2011 and now, into its own small task force.
Okay.
And now it's actually kind of getting some light on it.
Interesting.
Well, and if you think about it, the military's always kind of had just like a few guys off to the side of like, hey, investigate these weird lights, investigate this weird happening.
And you also got to think about it. Just last year, the president was like, hey, or whoever was just like, hey, I want a assessment report of what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
And it could have just been like a couple dozen people are just like, wait a second. He wants us to give them a report of what we've done.
Crap, this wasn't expected.
There's only like 24 of us.
Yeah. So it could have been on short notice. Hopefully we'll see more of this stuff as time goes on.
It gives me hope that the government is actually furthering research and actually dedicating supplies to it.
You know,
resources.
I think too, with the fact of they're going from 2004 forward, is probably a lot of the stuff before was like any reports that might exist. Like pre this was probably old Cold War era documents and stuff that were more leaning towards this is a weapon from the other side.
Right.
You know, it just honestly a lot of biased reports probably.
I can see that.
And just kind of harder to dig up more reliable info on it.
Yeah. Well, you can't follow a
like
lead.
More just raw data.
Yeah, you can't follow a lead that's been cold for 30 years.
No.
So,
but it definitely gives me hope that more will come out in the coming years.
yeah. Yep. I mean, NASA definitely acknowledges that there are weird objects that orbit our planet and react to approach.
Yeah.
And you know, they're constantly up and about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they do what they're actually going to say and they dive deeper into trying to figure out UAPs and UFOs. It would be cool to see what the government comes up with.
You know what I think will happen? I think it won't so much be government, but I think as space becomes more of a commercialized thing, you know, with, you know, obviously the
SpaceX.
famous people and SpaceX and all that doing stuff, the more prevalent that's going to become, I think the more chance of, I guess, just it being public discovering stuff, people doing research into it.
More discovery in like the private sector.
Yeah. I think that could be a potential.
Space programs, especially SpaceX, they don't care and they don't want to find aliens.
No, but I mean,
their goal is for something totally different right now.
That's great for them if they find out about it, because then they're going to be the corporation or group that discovered or whatever.
Well, the interviews that Elon Musk has given himself, he's actually he doesn't care about it at all.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I don't mean necessarily specific people, but
those would be the people that stumble on it, I think is what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
Actually, well, my counter argument to that is if you're not looking, it's hard to find it.
True.
Counter argument to your counter argument, sometimes looking keeps you from actually seeing it.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
Because you get, this rock is a alien. Well, no, it's just a funny looking rock.
Or like, look at this weird shape in Antarctica. It must be like where a UFO landed while they're not actually looking up.
That is true, because it's like...
I could see it going always.
Oil rigs. Oil rigs have to have cameras on like their drills and stuff like that while they're working. And so many, they're not looking for wildlife or anything like that. And they have confirmed several previously unknown species of creatures and stuff that just swim by, things like that.
It'd be like a situation like that.
I'm not saying that they're not. I'm not saying that they won't find anything. I'm just saying that
that's not their goal.
That's not their goal at all. Like, you would think.
I don't think they're going to go out and look for stuff like that. Well, it's just they will probably be the ones to encounter, like, hey, so this exists.
Right. All I was trying to say is, so many people think as soon as you get interested in space, you automatically want to try to find other life.
Right.
When in all actuality, like especially SpaceX, I don't know anything about. I don't know what Bezos is calling his space program. All I know is he's building rockets.
Right. I guess I kind of worded it badly. I guess as that kind of stuff becomes more normal,
more mainstream,
and there's gonna, we all know eventually there's gonna be more companies doing it.
Yeah. Could be. I mean,
they're going to reach further and further out.
Right.
I think that is where any solid confirmation of stuff will probably come from.
Yeah.
The only thing I worry about with it becoming more... I mean, this
populated.
is kind of populated, more privatized, is there's a game called Outer Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
And basically what it is the first people to go into space were companies.
Yeah.
Yep.
The first people to own anything in space were companies. And now, in the game, I mean, of course this is fictional, but in the game, there's 5 companies that own the galaxy.
Same for Borderlands.
Yes. So, that's fine and all, but then there's, no competition. There's, very high regulations. They're doing company stuff just to, fill up their bottom line and stuff.
Yeah.
The only thing that scares me with that type of stuff.
That's just kind of hard with space colonizing,
right?
Because in the past when humans were colonizing, it was actively
some people on a ship that just floated to another landmass.
It was an explorer would go to the government or the king and hey, could you fund me as my exploration of I'm going to go out and look for stuff. And if I find it, I'll give it to you. I just want to be known as the person that found it.
Yeah.
Right.
Where nowadays, it's just I'm a company. I got this money. I'm going to get the rights to it. And I'm going to start sending rockets up and developing space tech. Now, when they actually get to say Mars, who will own Mars?
Tesla, Elon Musk.
The people that get there first.
Right.
So in that sense, they kind of turn into their own governmental body.
And that will be the thing of where someone say Elon Musk was the first to get to Mars, would have to decide, am I a company or do I become my own nation?
I think it would be more or less, I become my own world.
Right. But I mean, in that sense, because...
Or area of the world, own country on that world.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, if they land on that planet,
how are they going to treat it?
Are they going to be the type, is Elon Musk going to be the person where he's going to be I give this to the U.S. government? Or is he going to be the person that's I don't claim anything, and this is just people of Earth going to Mars.
Correct me if I'm wrong, because I haven't done a whole lot of actual just research into it. Isn't Elon Musk and SpaceX working with NASA and the U.S. government?
Yes, they are the division, basically, that is going to space right now. Because
So-
NASA was
SpaceX is basically the only reason NASA still exists.
Yeah. With that, you could kind of go and correlate that with like olden times where the explorer went to the government or the king, asked for the resources and stuff to mount the exploration.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like that.
I guess, yeah, that would be the case because when they did the Dragon X space rocket test, Elon Musk provided the rocket, but it was American astronauts from NASA.
Right.
So basically, I think it's just SpaceX will provide the vehicles.
It's kinda
where
like
the
the
government provides the men.
It is the reverse.
It's like the reverse of like what I was talking about olden times, where instead of the government or the kingdom providing the resources,
Now
it's the company providing the resources.
It's the guy providing the ship for the king.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
So maybe the U.S. would claim it.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm sure they'll certainly try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, if there's a Canadian as an astronaut that went on there, I'm sure Canada would try. I'm sure any country would try.
Yeah.
'Cause
I know,
that's the whole point of a country is, well, not the whole point, but they certainly love controlling land.
Yeah.
I know, like, the situation with the moon is the UN just stated no one can own the moon. Besides for a dude does say he owns the moon.
Yes, he's selling parts of the moon.
Yeah, well, the UN's like, no one owns the moon. And this dude's like, I own it all.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's very interesting, and we won't know what will happen until it happens.
Yeah. Would you guys go to the Mars?
Maybe.
Nah.
No?
Nothing there for me to go for.
Like, nothing. You don't want to go there for a new experience? Like, if you could
Like
bring
a vacation.
Plenty enough for. I mean,
no, not a vacation. Because if
Go to live?
well, if you go to Mars, you have to go there to live because we had no way to bring you back.
Oh, you're talking like the initial colonizing part of it.
Yeah, like
Oh, yeah, no.
because here's the thing:
No.
we wouldn't be able to bring anybody back
Yeah.
for a long time.
I thought you were talking about after that long time.
I mean,
Yeah,
sure. If
no.
you guys could take a trip to Mars, would you?
if I could take a trip and come home, yeah,
Okay.
I'd do that.
Would you live?
I'm still a little
on-
iffy because I'm kind of like in Star Trek, the new movies.
Yeah.
Dude's like, I hate space travel.
Yeah.
I might be that person because like I'm definitely scared of heights.
You
and, like,
would
even
be Dr. Bones.
Yeah.
And you have the attitude like Dr. Bones too.
so. I would go if I got dragged and like just ripped up there, and I'd enjoy it once I'm
a
there.
random thing. Come on, Jordan, we're on a starship travel. No.
But I don't know if I could bring myself, like just myself, to volunteer or like even purchase a ticket to ride on a spaceship to Mars, because I'm not even wanting to go on an airplane
Yeah.
to go to like across the sea.
I would go on a trip. I wouldn't go to live because essentially at that point I am nothing more than a person that's going to live and rot working on a place that I can't even just go off and enjoy something.
Right.
Yeah, I definitely want to be the first person to initially go,
No.
because it's
Would you
all on you
guys-
to set up the civilization.
Would you guys live on a space station on the moon?
Same thing.
No, because I don't like cities as it is.
Yeah.
I despise cities.
All right.
And not even because of people and stuff. It's just they're filthy and
Yeah.
cluttered.
Because data shows if we're going to colonize Mars, we actually have to set up a station on the moon first.
Yep.
Yeah,
The way station.
That was the thing that kind of confused me, not to go off on another track, but I remember a few years back, that was the big mission. We were going to put a basically spaceport
Yes.
on the moon. And that was like the total focus. Globally, everyone was like, yeah, we're going to all do this together. And we're going to figure out how to make stuff from the resources there. Like they brought back samples to figure out fabricating.
Yep.
And then they just were like, yeah, no, let's go for Mars. Let's go.
Well, I mean, SpaceX kind of made that a big thing.
Yeah,
Well, they made it a
SpaceX
big-
made the big push to Mars, but that was after the whole space craze died down.
Yep. But it always kind of baffled me. They had step 1 figured out.
And then they jumped to step 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like, it was a solid plan. It was just basically, we got to build, certain drone tech and stuff, 3D printing equipment and stuff to survive the trip. Send it up there, get everything built, then send people and, do the finishing touches. And then they just never did it.
And the beautiful thing about having like a space station on the moon is then you could actually craft specialized rockets on the moon for space travel.
Right, because you
have
the environment to test everything.
Then you'd only have to set the rocket or the spaceship up for re-entry.
Yeah.
Not leaving in re-entry.
And I know their big fear of like Mars is the initial landing.
Yep.
That's a big problem.
Although
apparently I think it was, again, SpaceX that figured out basically any gyrocopter-ish systems work on Mars.
Yeah.
Yeah, they also figure that the first settlement of Mars is actually going to have to be unmanned.
Yeah.
It has to be drone technology.
Yeah, they have to set up the base camp and stuff.
Yeah, they'd have to set up the base camp. I guess they are thinking of sending a couple people with them, because obviously there's always going to be computer error.
Kind of like the movie The Martian.
Yeah, yep. Just like The Martian. Well, The Martian was... They were already there.
Well,
they had been there for a while.
It was kind of more like one research team.
Space equipment has a pretty unique thing in the fact of when they build them, like probes and stuff, which are pretty much a machine on its own, computing everything.
Yeah.
If it has an issue, the software and stuff on them is already pre-built to either fix itself, like correct errors and stuff, or to receive basically quick data packets to fix it.
No, I'm not saying that they couldn't fix themselves.
But they do need someone to, this machine's broken, the other machine can't fix this part.
And also kind of like once they get the building set up, make sure it's structurally sound, maybe even like with electronics, run the diagnostics and stuff.
I do kind of feel like if they do ever get to colonizing planets or the moon, like their initial thing was, build domes, and I don't think surface life is going to be too fantastic of an idea.
Well,
because
they're talking about exploding the poles.
Okay.
Setting off nuclear charges on the poles
Basically
to reset the atmosphere so that way it can support life. Basically,
I haven't heard
basically
of that.
They want to ignite the atmosphere.
Okay.
I feel like they're going to do that. Cool, we have a second sun now.
Do you know how that works?
I don't. I know the very basic science of it is they want to set nuclear charges on the poles to reset the Mars, basically, because they believe at one point Mars was aligned to support life.
Yeah, they've actually
and then it got off kiltered. Something happened with the magnetic poles.
I feel like with Earth's luck, though, it'd be like, hey, this is gonna work, and we just crack Mars in half.
Okay, so they're going off the theory that the rotational
axis,
the axis of how Mars rotated, got off-centered, which threw the whole ecosystem into chaos and destroyed the atmosphere. So they want to put some nukes in some strategic parts to shift it back into alignment so it could naturally regain its ozone, or not ozone layer, but basically its protective atmosphere.
I feel like that's a fast track to making a very toxic atmosphere.
How much more toxic could you get?
Yeah. I mean, toxic to
no. It already rains acid, kind of. No, that's not the planet.
That's Venus.
That's Venus.
Venus is the one that's like, I'm going to be the most hostile environment possible. Volcanoes, check. Acid, check. Unhospitable, hot ground, check.
That's it.
We should colonize Venus.
No. No, not yet.
Mercury, no one would find us there.
There's actually a cool creepypasta I was listening to one time where they're talking about our first encounter with an alien species, where we finally put a probe or a probe drone on Venus.
Ooh.
And we found a alien there that crashed there. They're on their way to Earth, and they crashed there. Well, they were given this drug, this one dose of a drug that the first planet they landed on, the drug would basically mutate their body into being able to live there. So they could live anywhere, but only on the planet that they lived on and landed on. So when he crash landed on Venus, the hardest planet to ever live on, that's the only planet he could live on there.
Oof.
So basically, he made contact with us, but we couldn't do anything to save him.
Oh, so he's just stuck.
He's
like,
stranded
hi,
there
guys.
all by himself on Venus. And even if we could save him, he wouldn't be able to survive on Earth anymore because his skin had became strong enough to survive the acid rains. He didn't have to. He could breathe the atmosphere on Venus, stuff like that.
That would be the situation. It's like, hey, can we help you to get a ship back to your home planet so we can get you another dose of the drug?
unfortunately,
We'll send you lots of probes with lots of fun things.
well, the guy is also basically immortal as well.
Well, yeah, you get a ship back to his home planet,
Well-
get another dose of the drug, make a whole ship so he could live on it, get him to Earth, then give him another dose of the drug so he'd change back to Earth.
That's complicated. It was actually...
It's the only way.
If you read the whole creepypasta, it's actually a very sad story.
Yeah, a lot of those are.
You know,
Yeah.
as hostile as Venus is, there is a little moon, I think, around either Jupiter or Saturn. I think is worse because I think it's. Please forgive me if I'm wrong in the name. I think it's Io, is basically Mustafar from Star Wars.
Oh, that's cool.
I know there's the moon Titan. I forget what planet that's around.
I think it's Jupiter.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was one of the other candidates for
Yeah, it's a big moon.
for colonizing.
Yeah, I think because it's basically just a wasteland.
Yeah, and it actually has seas.
Yeah.
I believe the seas are made out of
We just
What
don't
is it?
want to get stuck on one of the planets. It's just like, what are you spewing?
Isn't it liquid
Carbon
nitrogen?
it's not liquid nitrogen.
Wow.
It's like darn it, what is it?
Oh, is it Mercury?
No, it's not mercury, it's not a metal.
There are planets that I believe that do have seas of mercury.
That's
that.
terrifying.
That means we have never-ending supply of thermometers.
What is it? It was
I like how-
hydrogen.
Liquid hydrogen.
Yes.
So the first guy that lights a match on that planet, it's just another sun.
Yep.
Really, actually, I think of all the planets that would be useful to us, one of them, even though it's like way out of reach, was Pluto because they believe under the ice layer it's just normal water,
Yeah. Yep.
like Earth grade water under ice.
Which is weird because it's the furthest planet from the sun. It should be solid ice.
yeah, but yet it's got, they believe, liquid seas underneath.
Yeah.
Well, because probably like most planets, it probably has a core that's probably superheated
Right.
to some point, and when it's just basically an energy mass in space, it's gonna form a shell at some point.
Right. All right. Well, I think that's pretty much about it.
Yep.
We
You
can keep on rambling about planets, but
You know
I mean,
where I
people
would-
are gonna get bored of that. So
My one final thing, you know where I'd live if I could survive it indefinitely in
What?
space? The eye of Jupiter.
why?
I don't know.
Okay, fair enough.
I feel like it would be peaceful.
Yeah.
So the liquid for the moon of Titan was hydrocarbon. Liquid hydrocarbon.
Oh, interesting.
See,
I know several people that love that.
So wait, liquid, like
Carbon.
Are we talking carbon like diamond?
Basically,
Liquid
Yes.
diamond.
basically
Carbon like everything's made out of.
Okay.
but just liquid form.
It's just liquid. Throw it, slap it in a 3D printer, make anything.
Now, I could just be totally wrong and looking at the wrong part of Wikipedia, but that's what I just found in like 3 seconds of searching.
You know, Wikipedia's made out of carbon.
Yes.
I mean, we're not experts at this, so
Nope. I'm not even professional.
I'm not even knowledgeable.
I'm just a really tired dude that talks into a mic currently.
Yes, you are.
That is about to end the podcast, so I can go get some sweet sleep.
Relief of death.
That got dark really
Wow,
quick.
that escalated from 0 to 100 real quick.
That's usually my line.
Whenever I hear sweet, sweet relief, I always think of death.
I usually just think sweet, sweet, sweet tea.
Sweet tea.
I drank an Arizona sweet fruit punch today.
Yeah.
Didn't realize how much like sugar was in
Oh,
those
yeah.
things.
Yeah. I usually only drink the fruit punches if I'm really dragged down like from a cold.
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely good. It was sweet, but it was a lot of
As
sugar.
far as their juice goes, mango.
Yeah.
For me. Mango all the way.
I've just been drinking their green tea and half and half.
Nice.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to end the podcast episode here today. And yeah, that's about it. You guys got anything to say about anything else?
Drink your water, exercise a little bit, and have a good night.
Sorry, we didn't get into more of the pop culture stuff we've been...
What are you talking about? We talked about SpaceX a bunch.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess that counts.
Space. Or what's the thing from, was it Red Alert 3 with Dean Cain? I'm going to escape to space.
Yeah, but you have to say it in his
I can't
voice.
do Dean Cain's voice.
I'm going to... I don't know what
The
it is.
best part is he did the Nigel Thornberry
That's his voice.
I know. He voiced the character, but he's just like...
Nigel
the-
Thornberry's going to space.
Wasn't like the full quote, I'm going to escape the
Escape is-
capitalist thing to space.
I'm gonna escape the capitalist regime and go to space.
I seen a video on YouTube where it was the little robot pod thing from Portal explaining, "Oh, I'm so sorry for trying to kill you," and all this, and then just a pod that flew by and is like, space.
Nice.
Okay, back on track with ending the episode.
I'm gonna attempt to end the episode for the third time. Hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, tell a couple of your friends about it. If you really liked it, go ahead and give us a review on Spotify, iTunes, Podchaser. Heck, even just give us a review on Twitter. If you want to do that, you can look up our Twitter at BehindYouPod. You can also give us a comment or just even tell us how we're doing, or just even give us some maybe paranormal stories on the email by emailing us at behindyoucast@gmail.com.
We have an email now.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think that's the first time you've shouted it out.
No.
No.
I've been doing it the last couple episodes.
Darn, I'm oblivious.
Yes, you are.
that's why we love you.
Anyways, yeah. Also, we are on YouTube. Go ahead and you can subscribe, hit the like button, and also get the notification bell. That would be great. We will eventually try to put more content on YouTube besides for just the podcast episodes, but it has been hard considering I have barely even time to sleep.
I now just want Terry to reenact the scene from Red Alert 2. 3 that we were just talking about. His best impression he could.
You want me to grow a goatee too?
Yeah.
Do you want me to do the weird motion cap thing that they
Yes.
did for Red Alert 2?
Oh, jeez.
Just reenact that whole cutscene.
We'll get you the uniform and everything.
Hey, when I used to play Red Alert all the time, I was Supreme Commander.
No, that's a different game.
No, oh yeah, I was Vladimir.
Supreme Commander's a different game.
Supreme Commander's a different game.
That's a good game too.
I also became president of the United States.
Nice. Were you Soviet though?
I played both sides.
Nice.
At
Always
the same
do.
time.
At the same time, yes. I nuked my own base while forming lightning storms over the other.
Well, guys, that's about it. I've been Jacob. If you want to catch me on Twitter and talk to me at all, you can either do that through the accounts of SirBoom9, or you can catch me on at TalkBaka, because I'm active on both of those. And yeah, Ramen Cat. I mean, Terry.
Either one's good. I'm okay with either one.
Whatever. Your name.
You can
Your
find me
place.
on the Google Blue of Twitter at RamenCat13, where I don't really do much at the moment. I don't know what to do with that page, honestly.
Are you even on the internet anymore?
Not really.
I mean, good for you. Escaped, but
Mainly because I have stuff I want to do,
yeah.
and I
fair
get
enough.
on the internet and it's like,
Fair enough. Can they find you anywhere, Jordan?
if they want to get in contact with me or send me like any message or anything, the best way to do that would be through our podcast, and someone would let me know.
You know what?
Somebody will let you know.
They can also direct message me on Twitter, and I will make a note and throw it at his face.
Do that too.
Sure. Why can't you get on the Twitter anymore? What happened?
I just haven't got on it.
Oh, okay.
Also, my phone won't control the space on it, and whenever I'm on the computer, I'm like, I don't want to get on Twitter. I want to get on games.
Fair enough. That's why I have two screens.
I have two screens too, but I don't want to use both of them. It's too much work.
All right, folks. Hope you all have a wonderful night.
Yep. We'll see you all later. And remember, look behind you because you never know what you see.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.